Hello, I'm Zash, and welcome to episode 5 of Katawa Shoujo. Joining me, as always, is my co-reader Faith. Last episode, we got dragged into helping out with festival preparations, and in doing so, we met the mysterious Rin. She's missing her arms. And nothing wrong with that. She also has very dexterous feet. And she has a bit of a dry sense of humor, I think. She is very easy to talk to, at least. It's hard to annoy her. But we found all our art supplies and headed on out. So, I hope you enjoy this next episode of Katawa Shoujo.
This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it.
She kicks slightly at a huge can of paint that's laying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it?
Away.
And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now, with Shizune and Misha gone, so we too leave toward the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to the other, because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least, it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast. I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin.
Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course.
He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me he had some business with.
There is something I forgot to mention on Monday.
I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about the interruption either.
It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So, we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens.
All right.
So, how are you? Everything fine?
I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least, that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give the generic answer anyway. Ellipses.
That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school's track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked.
Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off at the track the very first day. You have people spying on me?
Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it.
Well, I was just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times, like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone.
Tezuka, would you give us a second?
The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside.
When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still on your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on?
You just say yeah, even if you don't mean it.
Yeah, I promise. Definitely. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again.
Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit.
Consultation?
See you around.
He leaves with a wave of his hand, and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them.
Are you getting medications for your heart thingy?
Were you listening? Comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder, quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. Feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart.
Will they make you better?
No, not really. They just make it a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and she neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion I can discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted out my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at a small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design at the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of brick as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of a painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray pasturing that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. Can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans arranged in piles on the ground beside the wall.
See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better. It's faster too.
She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering.
So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost.
Why would the hope be lost?
Because the paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. Takes time.
She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project? You did this?
Yes. Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
Nice. But I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I walk straight into the minefield of political incorrectness.
It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad.
I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Ren is, though. This is really awkward.
Don't you want to ask?
How do you paint without hands?
See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet.
I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do?
You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now.
I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was at using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us have anything more to add to the subject.
The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat?
Well, paintings tend to be flat.
Not like that flat. You know, flat. Like some people are, no substance, no meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who...
Okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. So, I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at that, saying, "Suit yourself," without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there.
I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any.
Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though.
It's just mixing some paints, you can do that. Probably. Do you have motor control problems, like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe?
Not that I know of.
I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that.
She gives me a sly look, for no reason. No, it doesn't.
Let's do it then.
So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I open up a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new, monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Ellipses. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best.
Add half a splash of green.
I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green.
The other green. This green.
I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl.
No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add?
No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of a smile appears in the corner of her mouth.
Do you lack an opinion?
No, it's just that I have no idea.
It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white.
With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter.
That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow.
Ellipses. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints, crouching down on the paving, and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind in the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint atop other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even these short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blankets for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So, eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part of gym classes at Yamaku, so I don't get issued with a gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such contingencies, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog just like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and his prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get into shape were merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over.
Good morning! Your name is Hisao, right?
She grins, seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name.
You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday.
How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again.
Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine.
Great!
I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So, the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you?
That's right.
Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest.
What, are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy?
No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that.
No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I'd seen a messy-haired transfer student who looked like he's kinda lost around the track.
So, why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose.
Training!
For what?
Track.
Ah, I see. You're on the track team then? Emmy nods enthusiastically.
Yep. I'm one of the better runners, too.
And modest about it, too.
Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know.
I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Yeah, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true. I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning.
I see. Not into that whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh?
What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased.
Are you going to warm up?
Real men don't warm up.
Oh no, you should always warm up. Bad Hisao.
She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer.
I hate warming up too.
She laughs suddenly.
Heck, and I don't even have to stretch my legs.
As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her legs' blades seem to be quite elastic.
Let's go.
So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? and something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heel. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor.
Finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling.
Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time you just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and eventually you'll be great.
I'll keep that in mind. I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly.
Nah, I've got plenty of time.
I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
Yeah. See ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And, like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looking and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog.
So,
What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem?
I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man.
What do you mean, all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too, and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then, why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through a fog?
You know, your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money?
He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked, to say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feelings off, with little success. Money? Sure.
Awesome.
Wait, why do you need it?
Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, Isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal.
This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure, and his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him.
I'm offended, man. But if that's your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest.
I get some of that pizza too, right?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes. I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza.
What about you?
I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day, I plan my vengeance, so that when the people who wronged me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant.
Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony.
But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far.
I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you about what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance.
I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Standing. Maybe wondering how I got here. And then, out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life.
What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me.
It was like in the openings to some kind of anime show. You know how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's that like big dramatic collared auras and zoom. It was like that, but with poo.
Okay.
So yeah, I need some money. Please, don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen.
I thought it was 400.
Okay.
What?
I'll pay you back, I swear.
You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff.
I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back.
You have 1 week.
Ah, God.
Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow. A particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely.
You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make?
That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star.
So maybe I am a porn star. On the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. And you can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody.
Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? This feminist agenda stuff again?
This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious. Here, feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake, you take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere.
How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep?
Women are terrible at stabbing things.
I thought you just said, don't take them lightly.
Well, I mean don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come, when the feminists come out of their central, top-secret, worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfucker!"
You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it.
Who said it was on Earth?
I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyway. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility.
Yeah, there is a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would be over, and I was like, whoa, and knew I had to get serious. Because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty.
Must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy.
So, can I have the money?
He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked, and I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on.
Bowling?
Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes, or the pastel green with flower accents?
There are bowling clothes?
Maybe.
Anyway, you had better pay me back.
I can pay you back in stuff, right?
I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class, and you're kind of in the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hold you up, and I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come.
The time for what?
I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come.
For what?
I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it.
I was just going to. And what does that mean? It's a big bathroom.
So, I have to be alone, or I can't go. The pressure.
Okay, What if someone comes in?
Ellipses. I'll think of something.
I give him my practiced frown, and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway. So I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this, somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside of the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar, as if it were of some importance to look prim when entering our classroom.
Excuse me.
She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily.
Hisao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in.
I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely, if I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now.
Oh. Have you seen Hanako today, by any chance?
No, she seems to have come in only just before the bells ring. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No. It's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here.
I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today.